Hi guys, welcome back. I am Stu and this is Thunder Rock for Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic. Thunder Rock stands in the middle of a desert and attracts many tourists. Use the available space to build rides to attract more people. Your objective: to have at least 900 guests in your park at the end of October year 4 with a park rating of at least 600. 4 years to get only 900 guests. Wow. So this is going to be quite long and tedious, I think. We could probably do 900 guests. We could maybe at a push we could do it in 1 year. 4 years does seem extreme. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume that that's the only space we've got. Let's just check. Yep. And free entry, so we're going to be charging for the rides. To see what rides we've got available, we've got a chairlift, we've got a couple of gentle rides, a few coasters, we've got a twist, a log flume, and some shops. We've got a toilet, we've got food and drink. We haven't got a kiosk. That's one of the things I like to have first. So first thing I'm going to do then is put my research into shops, and then after that then I think I'll go thrill rides. If this was a shorter scenario, I think what I would do is I would just put down whatever flat rides I've got, maybe some just around here, maybe here if I've got space, and then just crack on building roller coasters on the top. But that's going to get very boring very quickly if I do that, because we've got 4 years to play with. So what I'm going to do then, first thing, I'm going to get rid of the chairlift and the paths, because I don't want them wandering up the top. I'm not going to do anything on the top just yet. The reason I'm going to get rid of the chairlift, apart from the fact that I don't want them up on the top, is because transport rides don't really act like transport rides in this game, because the guests, if one of the guests wants to get to a ride that's up here, it's not going to think, oh, I know, I'm going to go on a chairlift to get up there a bit quicker. It's just going to walk up a path or something. It might go up the chairlift if it just so happens to be walking near the chairlift, but it's not going to have the intelligence to think I can use the chairlift to get from point A to point B. So I'm going to get rid of that, and then what I'm going to do then, I'm going to try what we did on Coaster Canyon. So I'm going to use the flat rides that we've got, and I'm going to place them inside the rock. So what I'll be doing then is, let's have a look, let's get one as an example. So we'll put it there, and then we'll click down to whatever the height of the land is, and then we'll place it, and then we'll put the entrance and exit, and we'll build the paths out. And then what I'll do is I'll keep doing that all the way around. So after we've built all the thrill rides, I'll then go into building some more gentle rides, see if we can get a few more of them, and then we'll build it all the way around. So I don't know how long that's going to take, maybe a year or two. And then once we've done that, then we can look at building up on top. And I think once we get on top, we'll just go crazy with coasters and just build them anyway. Just have like a bit of a mess, a tangled mess of coasters on the top. So I'm going to crack on with the building then. I'll see you in a bit. It is April year 1. So just in case anyone wasn't sure, this is what I meant. So we've got the rides inside. We've got the entrance and exits just poking through there, and then we got a path coming up to the main path. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a 1 tile gap where possible between the outside fence. That way then I've always got a space where I can put down shops, or if I really want to, seated areas, and I think that'll work out quite well. And then by the time we get to the top, then we should have quite a lot of guests in the park, but also we should have a lot of rides for them to go on, so that there aren't any guests, or aren't that many guests complaining that it's overcrowded. So I'm going to crack on with the building then. I'm just going to keep doing this all the way around until we get back to the start. It is October year 1, so I've been continuing to build then. Got quite a few rides in the park at the moment. Haven't really bothered with handymen, that sort of thing. That's why there's so much litter. We've got the kiosk. After the kiosk, then I put my research into thrill rides. Got a go-kart track just up here. Still waiting for the results to come back through, but the guests are more than happy to pay £10 for it. Does it come? No, not yet. So you can just see the track there. Also got a car ride going through the rock as well, and just over here then we've got a couple of free falls set to downward launch. That way then you've got some good excitement, not too intense, but you can make some good money off these. So what we got? We got these set to £5. Money wise then, we're taking a couple of thousand a month, so that's good, because at the moment we're only building flat rides, so that's more than enough for us to be building those. So yeah, I'm just going to keep on doing the same thing now. So we've done the first year, and we're about probably a quarter of the way around the rock. So I don't know, maybe it'll take a bit longer than I thought to go around it, but hopefully we'll be done by year 2. It is May year 2, so the scenario wants 900 guests. We've got more than that already, and we're not even halfway through yet. We've still got another 2.5 years to go. So the results for the go-karts came back, and it was very boring. It was about 2 excitement, so I extended it a bit more. So there's a lot more track there. There's a lot more crossovers and ups and downs and bends and whatnot. And even though it's got all that, it's still only 3.6 excitement. But they're still more than happy to pay big bucks for it. So I've been continuing to build all the way around, building shops as and where I've got the space as well. So where are we now? We're about just over halfway. Probably maybe a third of the way left to go, so I should get that sorted by the end of the year, and then we can spend the next 2 years then just building coasters. It is October year 2, so I finished off building all the rides in the rock. So we've got a complete path around the rock with rides inside. Now the good thing about having all these rides is that it'll attract a lot of guests to the park, and then at the end of the scenario, if we're struggling for guest numbers, what we can do is we can reduce the prices of all the flat rides. We could even make them free, and that way, because when guests are leaving the park, a lot of the time they're leaving because they've run out of money. So if they're coming down to leave, they'll have to walk past one of these flat rides. And if they're free, they'll think, oh, hang on a second, I haven't got any money, but that ride's free, I can go on that. So they'll stay for a bit longer, and you never know, that might help us pass the goal. But I don't think it will this time, but it is something to bear in mind for future harder scenarios. So I've built the path up to the top, and then when I got to the top, I realised then, hang on, there's going to be guests getting lost, kind of like when we played Coaster Canyon. They were trying to get from the top down to the bottom, and they didn't have the smarts to realise where the path was. So what I decided to do was build extra paths. So we've got a path leading down to this side from the top, one down this side from the top, and one down this side. So we've got 4 paths leading from one each side leading up to the top, so that should mean we don't get any problems with guests getting lost or stuck. So I'm just going to crack on with this coaster then, and then I'm just going to carry on building coasters just randomly. I'm not going to give it too much thought, but yeah, I'm just going to put them down as and where they go. I mean, we've got 1,700 guests now. We're not going to have any difficulties, I shouldn't think. So it's just a case of just playing whilst rather than fast forwarding, just playing whilst it's running. It is October year 3, so I finished off this ride then. as I said, quite a simple design. Just goes down around the loop through the photo section, back up through the hill, through the rock, and then back up a chain lift to the station. Good excitement on that. Above that then I've got a launch coaster. Again, very simple design. And then back up. Just here then we've got a mini coaster. There wasn't a lot of space. There's not many cars on the ride. It's very even simpler design. Did we check out the excitement on the looping coaster? There you go, good excitement, 5 point something. So the mini coaster, it comes down, underground, up, down, up, around the bend, and then the same on the way backwards with a chain lift taking it the rest of the way. So what's that? Just under 5 excitement, not bad. We're never going to make millions off that ride. And then what we got then, we got a nice big wooden coaster here then. So it's good excitement on that. A lot of head chopper elements, so it goes under and over itself. A lot of changes of speed, because you don't want it to go really fast all the way around, you don't want it to go really slow all the way around, you want it to be going fast and slow and all that kind of jazz. And then we've got a junior coaster here. So I like, with these, I like the fact you've got the chain lift on the bends, and I've got another chain lift there, so that'll help it get up this bend, and just enough so that the head of the train is over the crest of the hill, so that gravity can pull the rest of the train through, and then back to the station. So not doing too bad then. So we've got quite a few roller coasters already. Got another year to go. Let's have a look what we've got available. We've got a mine train, so that'll be cool. We could just have one of them going up and down around the existing coasters. Already got a looper. Let's see, swinging one. Oh, I don't know about that. I'm in the middle of researching roller coasters, so I'm hoping we get something a bit more exciting. So I think the next one up is going to be the mine train, and hopefully whilst I'm building that, we'll get something a bit better, because I don't really want to do anything with a suspended coaster, and I don't really want to have to use another one that we've already used. So I'll see you this time next year for a park tour and completing the scenario, because let's face it, we've got 1,500 guests. There is no way we're going to fail. It is October year 4. We're all done with the scenario then. We're just waiting for the end of October. We've given all the rides a bit of a paint job. Let's have a park tour. So when we came in then, there was a couple of chairlifts, one at the bottom of the rock, one at the top. The scenario is quite an easy goal, but very long, so 4 years. So we figured we'd do it quite sort of slow and methodical. So what I did is I got rid of all those, and then I decided to build flat rides inside the actual rock. So let's turn off rides so we can see. So you can see these square tunnels on the bottom. That's the entrance and exits for rides. So I started building them all the way round, just there, leaving a one-tail gap between the main path and the fence where possible, so I had enough space to put shops down. And then once we completed that, I think we completed all the way around by the end of year 2, just towards the end of year 2. So that way then we went up, and then we started building the roller coaster. This black and white one, yeah, that was the first one that we built. What I realized is that with just the one path, guests were going to get lost and stuck. So I started building. You can just see, just in the middle here, there's a few tunnels leading down. So what I did was I built a path leading down from the top to each of the other 3 sides. So every side of this rock has got a path leading up and down. So so we built this vertical drop coaster then, very simple design, good excitement though. Just on top of that then we've got this looping coaster, again very simple design, just goes up and over, down, into the rock, around the bend, through the photo section, up the chain lift and back to the station. Then we've got a mini coaster then. Wasn't a lot of space over here. I wanted to build it, but I didn't want to waste too much space in it, so it hasn't got as many cars as I'd liked. It just goes down through the rock around the bend and back up. There's nothing special about it, nothing complicated. It's just under 5 excitement. And then just over here then built a wooden coaster, so that's this green and brown thing. It's broken down at the moment, so it's just started now. So 7.62. So there's a lot of head chopper elements, goes in and out of itself. And then we've got a junior coaster here, 2 trains on it, set to the longest trains. It's just under 6. That's good excitement for a junior coaster. Just after that then we built a mine train, so that's this orange one going round, orange and black one, and then just there then it goes underground. So after the drop, it's got a few helixes, then it comes around here underground, and then it pops up just around here and then goes back to the station. Just over here then I built a wild mouse ride. So initially I had the drop too high, so it came back quite extreme, so I reduced the drop down, and then it's come back. The excitement isn't that high, so I played about with it a little bit, but in the end I just figured, oh, I'll just carry on, that's fine. Excitement, it was either not very exciting or extreme intensity, so I've just settled for not very exciting. But the guests that are going on it do seem to enjoy it. And then just after that then, what have we got? Just the other side of the mine train, we've got a corkscrew. So very similar, we've done these before. I mean, it drags it up to the top, it drops it, and then you've got a couple of loops up this side and then back in reverse. And then just at the end then I built this yellow one. So what have we got? Inverted roller coaster. It's called Rushed. Yeah, it was right at the end. It's called Rushed simply because I rushed it. Is it going to go? Are we going to get enough time to watch it? Come on. Yes, it's going. So it's just about to come to the end of the month. So it goes up the chain lift, drops down, around the bend, through the supports for the mine train, through a loop for the blue, round the bend, does its own loop, and then just through the photos, and then back to the station. It's coming into the station a little bit fast, so that's why we've only got the one train. But with these ones, you've got 9 cars per train, and you've got 4 wide, so 9 4s 36. You've got 36 people per train, and the park isn't hugely busy. We've got 1,300 guests. I mean, we only need 900. At one point we were up to around 1,800. So if we needed more guests, we could have reduced the price of some, but we've completed it. If we needed to chase the guests, we could have reduced prices on some, but we haven't. So we've kept the ride tickets pretty high on these. And yeah, so that was Thunder Rock. Not the greatest scenario, to be honest. It could have done with being earlier on in the game, because it was so easy, or simply having a much higher guest target. I think all things considering, maybe even simply having it set to 1,500 would have been more difficult, because as it was, I haven't really looked at the guest numbers. We got it up to around 1,700-1,800, and then we just left it, knowing full well that we were never really going to get lower than anywhere near the target. So otherwise what I would have done is I probably would have tried flushing out the park earlier, and then in order to get brand new guests in. But as it was, didn't need to do any of that. Not one of my favourite scenarios, I've got to be honest, but I think the way I went about it, building all the rides at the bottom, did mean it wasn't as boring as it probably would have. Because if I had just come in and started building loads of big coasters, then it would have been more difficult to build all the smaller rides, and then that would have made it more tedious. So that was Thunder Rock then. I am Stu. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Hopefully it'll be better than this.